everyone, it's Holly from the Urban Homesteader. Welcome to the channel. Today I had all sorts of really great ideas to be talking to you about all sorts of really great things, and then Mother Nature decided to change the plans completely. It has just been an odd weather day. I swear it's been warm. It was warmer in January than it is at the end of April, so I'm dealing with that. Spring is a super busy time of year for me. I'm trying to get everything ready to go. The bees, the chicken coops, and the gardens, it's all kind of happening at the same time. And unfortunately, when there's a rainy day, it doesn't always pan out the way you want. But I did do some fun stuff today. I did go to one of our local greenhouses, and I purchased some onions, some asparagus, more onions, and some purple potatoes. So I'm going to be planting those pretty time soon, probably not today. But at least I'm ready. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I got to look at the weather and see what's going to happen tomorrow. The garden is right behind me, and this will be the first year that I have planted any vegetables in this garden. It's a brand new garden, so I am really excited to see what will happen out there. And of course, I like to do things a little bit differently. So my plan for the garden is to plant things that are a little more unusual. Like I don't want to plant zucchini. I love zucchini. But I don't need to plant zucchini because all of my friends plant zucchini and I will end up with a truckload of it that they just are trying to give away. So there's no need for me to plant zucchini. I do know that we are going to be doing a salsa garden. My husband Patrick and I really love some salsa. And it's been a couple years since we've done any canning with that whole situation. So we're going to try it this year. It's always a little tough because tomatoes always seem to come ripe at a different time, but we'll figure that out. But that was kind of the reasoning for these onions that I purchased today. So I'm excited about that. I've got some bell peppers in mind. I've got some seeds in the house. Although I might end up going to a couple of plant sales that I know are fundraisers to get the like bell pepper plants from those folks. They're already started, and I just don't have room to start from seed at my house. But anyway, gardening is going to be happening soon. But before I get into all of those details, which will be another video, I kind of just wanted to give you guys an update since I can't be out doing the things that I wanted to be doing today. I thought I'd run through and give you some updates. I've had some friends ask me about some of the things that I've been showing you, and they have great questions. So I thought I would just kind of go through my list of things and let you guys know what's happening here on the homestead. So first on top of my mind, mostly because people are asking me about her, which I think is the cutest thing ever. They're wondering about Lenore, and Lenore is doing just fine. I have drained her water belly a couple more times, but she just takes it like a champ. That girl is something. She is doing just fine, and you would never know until you lift her up that she's got some health issues going on, but she is just living out her best days. So yay for Lenore, she's doing great. Next on my list, I was gonna tell you guys about this. So Georgia and I, as you know, we do some volunteer work for she's like a reader dog, so kids read to her. We hit our just over 100 hours of volunteer time since we started with the reader dog program. So between the public library and the grade school that we go to, 100 hours for her and I to do that, and I just think that is pretty darn cool. She doesn't seem to be minding it, and the kids just absolutely love when we come into the school. It's like the best part of the day. So I get to come in, and we're hardly in the front door, and I'm standing by the elevator because she can't take the stairs. But we're standing by the elevator, and all the kids are walking past, and hi Georgia, hi Georgia. I get blown off, but I totally don't care. They love her, and she loves them right back. So that's pretty cool. Another anniversary that we are celebrating. Maybe that wasn't an anniversary, but another thing that we're celebrating. Today marks a 4-year anniversary for me becoming a chicken mom. Sadly, we have only one chicken remaining from that batch of chicks that we raised as babies, and that's Einstein, and she's still with us. And but 4 years, I can't believe it. It kind of is a little mind-blowing when you sit and do the math and think about all of the things that have happened. Our chicken yard, for example, is expanding, and I cannot wait to show you guys that, but not today. Not going to happen today. So that's kind of cool. So 4 years with chickens, and man, it's been a ride, that's for sure. So speaking of chickens, the Julias, you guys maybe remember when I talked about the babies that I have in my garage right now. I've called them all Julia. There's 4 of them. They're black copper Marans, and the reason that they all got named Julia is, for one thing, they're all going to look the same, and I'm never going to be able to tell them apart. I picked the name Julia because when I was researching, I found out that Julia Childs preferred to cook with the eggs of black copper Marans. So They're all 4 Julias, and that is just how it's going to be. But they are 5 weeks old already, which means that they have been taken off of any heat. Although they are in the heated garage, we did drop the heat down in there to about 60, I think, right now. I have no idea what it is outside. It's got to be close to that, maybe a little bit cooler. So they're in the perfect spot that they need to be. I want to keep them in the garage as long as I can, just because it's just easier that way. Once they get a little bit older, they're able to fend for themselves a little bit more. I'll talk about that when we transport them into this new coop that I can't wait to show you guys about. Let's see. Oh, the broody and the egg eaters. So Karina, I broke Karina that day that you guys saw her. So she's been doing great. She's no longer been hiding out in the nesting box. But then that same day, Sassy decided to get broody. So that happened. Put her in the broody breaker for about a day, and that seemed to fix her. So I think I caught her really early. That's kind of the trick. Like the earlier you catch them, and the easier it is to break them of that. So that was cool. But then Fancy decided to get broody, and that girl is as stubborn as it gets. I cannot break her. I have moved her from in the chicken run to outside in the broody breaker, to in the garage sitting on a concrete floor. Like, I just cannot get her body temperature to cool down enough to where she's not want to be sitting on eggs. So that's super frustrating, but I'm not giving up. I will continue to chat with her directly and have some words. So far, that's not really working the best, but I'm doing what I can. And I do take her out of the broody breaker in the evenings, and I let her roost with the other chickens, simply because I can't imagine being caged up. Like, I hate that for them, but she needs to figure this out. So anyway, I'm still working on that. As far as the egg eater goes, it was still a mystery up until today. I lifted up Sassy, she's the German Spitzhauben. She's the one with the spiky wings on her head. I just picked her up by chance because she happened to be picking at my boots. So I picked her up just to give her a little bit of love, and the girl had some yellow on her beak. So she is the guilty party, I am sure of it, which would make sense why she was maybe what I thought was broody for that one day. She was interested in eating those eggs, so I have to really keep my eye on her. It just stinks. It's a terrible, terrible thing to happen. So I'm probably going to be putting some golf balls in the nesting boxes just to... Hopefully she'll peck at one and she'll get a headache and she'll think that's not such a great thing. That's my next plan. So there's that. Let's see. Oh, pending the weather, today was going to potentially be a let's take the plastic off of the chicken run. And I was so excited because that's just a really good feeling, and the chickens love it and everybody's just happier. But the forecast for like the next week is kind of rainy and chilly. So I might as well just keep it on there, and I'm not excited. Maybe next weekend we can take it off. I'm not sure. I do have to tell you guys about one sad thing that happened this week. So it was Tuesday because I was at the library with Georgia, and I came home and Pat came out of the garage, and he looked very somber and sad, and I knew something was wrong. And he said, we lost some chickens today. And I said, well, what happened? And he said, a fox got them. So unfortunately, we had a fox come in. We haven't had a fox for probably 3 years. So we had one come in. He or she. We're kind of thinking that it's a girl. Maybe it's a mom with some cubs trying to feed her babies. So cubs. I don't know what a baby fox is called. I'm thinking bears on my mind too. So anyway, potentially a mama fox trying to find food for her babies. I can't blame the fox. However, it makes me very, very sad. So we lost Dorothy, Eartha, and Noya. And it happens to be a red chicken, a black chicken, and a real light gray, almost a white chicken. So I don't know if the fox had color preferences or what. But I'm sad, and it makes me sad. But I also have to remember, when I choose to free range, or when Pat chooses to free range, it's a chance that we take. We want them to free range. We want them to have a happy life and eat the wood ticks and scratch around in the leaves and, live their best day. It's just a chance that we take, and we have to understand that bad things can happen. It's a little surprising just because we haven't had those predators in such a long time, but, it happens. Weirdly, we are actually working on making a safer area for the chickens so that they can be outside, but they can be fenced in at the same time. I don't know if that would have helped or not, and it doesn't matter because the chickens are gone. The fox took them, and there's nothing that we can do about it. So right now, our chickens are still locked up in the chicken run, and they're kind of feisty about it, and I can't say I blame them. With the rain, I don't feel too terrible. I wouldn't probably let them out anyway because they don't, I would open the door and they would just stand at the threshold and be like, well, I'm not going out there. So it's not the end of the world that they're probably going to be locked up for a while. The idea is to keep them behind closed doors and the fox hopefully moves on to a different area. But certainly we are going to be on alert. And when we do take that plastic off, that's another time to really keep an eye on things and that sort of thing. But at night, you got to remember they go into the coop. Coop is fairly secure. We've got that electric door and then Fort Knox on the other door, so a fox won't be able to get in there. But we're still seeing and hearing about bear reports in the area, so we've got that to think about too. So it's on our mind. This is part of it. This is part of owning these chickens, and we just have to deal with it and work with it as it comes. So I'm thinking that the bees are probably going to be the next thing that I'm going to be working on. We got to do a hive check with them. I got to check in and see what their food looks like. I might have to whip up some more pollen patties. I'm going to do that and bring them with, and we'll certainly bring you guys along for the ride. In the meantime, I'm just going to sit in my sheltered she shed and gaze out at my garden. And I think I'm going to just work on a garden plan. I've got to put that together and figure out what's going to be planted where, and go from there. So I guess that's it for today. That's my homestead updates. I hope you guys can enjoy. If you guys have questions, please post them in the comments. I'm always interested to see what you guys are interested in. When I had these conversations with friends, it was very sporadic, and they just had really great questions, and it's interesting for me to know what you guys want to know. So please let me know. I would be happy to address that, and maybe we'll just keep doing these updates every once in a while. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks again.